सिर्फ 2 थे, अब 8 के बाद हमें 11 तक फैसला करना था. So in those 2 days we had to take a decision. So the only party after negotiations, हमने उस पार्टी से भी तो बात करनी थी कि हम तुम्हें ज्वाइन कर लें ना कर लें, कुछ उनके भी एतराज हो सकते हैं.
And what was the contention raised by you in your application for impediment?
जी मैं उस पे आऊंगा भी. So facts
Can
हम
you
कर
read
लें
that?
जरा. जी
Yes.
मैं भी
उसको भी पढ़ दीजिएगा because it is also material.
आप my lord is a member of the 8-member majority. आपने बहुत रिलाई किया है मेरी उस एप्लीकेशन पे, आपने उसके एक्सेप्ट्स रिप्रोड्यूस किए हैं अपनी जजमेंट में. I'll come to that. So हमारे सामने ये सिचुएशन थी. अब इस सिचुएशन में we took a decision कि this is the only party we can join.
पीटीआई ने अप्लाई किया था कि जैसे एसआईसी ने अप्लाई किया इलेक्शन कमीशन को कि दोज कैंडिडेट्स हैव जॉइंड अस, हमें ये सिंबल अलॉट कर दो. वो पीटीआई के जो 6 अफराद थे उन्होंने इलेक्शन कमीशन को कहा कि हमें 6 की बुनियाद पे हमें सीट दी जाए.
उन 6 को भी उन्होंने माना ही नहीं. पीटीआई
आपने अप्लाई किया?
No, sir. No. Because they were not recognizing them as PTI. जब इलेक्शन कमीशन उनको PTI recognize ही नहीं कर रहा तो वो क्या मांगे इलेक्शन कमीशन?
अप्लाई करते वो आपके खिलाफ फैसला कैसे आ जाता है?
This is speculation now. कि उस 2 दिन में हम क्या क्या कुछ करते. देखिए हमने उस 2 दिन में सब कुछ करना था.
देखिए
So it was because ये सिचुएशन अदालत के सामने थी.
देखिए ना ये सारे फैक्ट्स आ
सर ये बड़ा जरूरी है.
नहीं
अब सवाल ये है
ना फैक्ट्स. अब बात ये है कि अब आपने उस जजमेंट को
अब उसको डिफेंड करना. अब now let us see what has this judgment done.
अच्छा इस पे जाहिर है कि उसकी सारे रोशनी में जो बाकी माइनॉरिटी व्यू है, मसलन उस पे हमने लिखा
डील करूंगा सर.
जो रिकॉर्ड है वो
जी मैं सब चीजें डील करूंगा. मैं करूंगा सर, मैं सब चीजें डील करूंगा.
उस जजमेंट पे आइए.
मैं आ रहा हूं. अब सर ये फैक्ट्स बड़े जरूरी थे कि दिस व्हाट हैड हैपेंड वाज, अगर आप देखिएगा ये नोट करने से, क्योंकि आपने अपनी जजमेंट में माय लॉर्ड मंजूर खेल साहब ये लिखा है कि आई हैड ओनली मेड अ पर्सनल चैलेंज. नो, इट वाज नॉट अ पर्सनल चैलेंज. I had said we are challenging the vires of the explanation to Rule 94. So I was not simply seeking correction of my Form 33 for my own constituency. I was seeking a general declaration that this explanation is ultra vires the Constitution. मेरी petition record पे है, मैं आपको दिखा दूंगा.
Where you filed this petition in the Peshawar High Court or Lahore High Court?
Lahore High Court.
No,
This was
so
filed.
what was the decision on that?
No decision. It was simply sent to the Election Commission. और उसमें हमने ये लिखा, हमारी argument reproduced है उस judgment में. If I may, my Lord Justice Baqir Najfi was the judge in the Lahore High Court along with another honorable judge. इन्होंने ये लिखा कि हम इसका फैसला नहीं करेंगे. हमारी contention record की कि the decision regarding the vires or the ultra vires nature of this explanation to Rule 94 can only be determined by a High Court or the Supreme Court and not by the Election Commission. They are not a court of law. वो इसको strike down नहीं कर सकते. आप ये मत भेजिए. ये पूरी contention noted है उस judgment में हमारी. इसके बावजूद उन्होंने कहा कि नहीं, we will send it to the Election Commission.
What did the Election Commission do?
Election Commission ने कहा हम bound है, ये रूल बना हुआ है, हम क्या कर सकते हैं. 2 बातें उन्होंने की. उन्होंने कहा ये तो आपको कोर्ट से ही करानी है, हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते. प्लस उन्होंने कहा कि हम गौर खान को चेयरमैन नहीं मानते. सो 2 बातें की इलेक्शन कमीशन ने. हम इसीलिए
Mr. Salman Akram Raja, that judgment of the Lahore High Court was upheld by the Supreme Court later on?
No sir, we went to this, वही तो है जिसके खिलाफ हमने CPLA की, and that CPLA was returned to us twice. And we then did not file the chamber appeal because we were then too close to the election.
And that order has attained finality as per your concern?
That order simply says go to the Election Commission. उसमें तो यही कहा गया.
यानी आपको चैलेंज करने का मौका था दोबारा भी?
हमने चैलेंज किया ना.
उसको छोड़ दें, दोबारा फिर आपके पास मौका था.
After the elections,
उस पे कोई ऑर्डर नहीं आया हाई कोर्ट का.
After the elections?
Yes
sir. तो अब हो गया ना.
Even after the last decision.
सर्च करूंगा वो कैसे है.
सब्जेक्ट मैटर ऑफ दीस
वो अभी आपके सामने आ जाएगी बात कि कैसे है. मैं अभी आपके सामने जजमेंट्स पेश
यानी आपने उसके बाद चैलेंज नहीं किया?
वो फिर इन्हीं प्रोसीडिंग्स में आया.
नहीं, आपने नहीं चैलेंज किया.
इन्हीं प्रोसीडिंग्स में जो जिसकी अब रिव्यू आ रहा है, I'll come to that. कि how a challenge can be made to the vires of a provision. मैं आऊंगा उस पे सर एक लम्हे में. बिल्कुल आप ठीक फरमा रहे हैं. We were then caught up in this situation of what to do. The election happens on the 8th and within 3 days we had to take a decision. We took it. By the 11th we joined the SIC. And this is what happens. So this is the sequence of events which has resulted in the situation that this court was seized off in the original proceedings, the appellate proceedings, before these review proceedings. And the court had to decide what to do. Now, clearly, this was not an ideal election process. Because of the explanation, because of the confusion caused, the reading by the Election Commission of the 13th January judgment of the Supreme Court, their declaration that despite tickets, despite everything, we will be treated as independents. So all of that was before this court, that something had happened which was beyond our powers. आप बिल्कुल ठीक कह रही हैं, आखिर में हम चेंबर अपील फाइल कर सकते थे, उसके अलावा मुझे कोई चीज नजर नहीं
इसके अलावा
आती।
जो लास्ट ऑर्डर को भी चैलेंज कर सकते, जो
जी, ठीक हो गया। इसके अलावा इस पूरी सीक्वेंस में राइट अप टू द 8th of February and the 11th of February, there is everything that could have been done was done by us, except आप ये कह रहे हैं कि 2 फरवरी को जब हमें रिटर्न हो गई हमारी CPLA तो हम चेंबर अपील फाइल कर देते। आई वाओ, ये हम कर सकते थे, लेकिन उस वक्त
जब उसके बाद का जो इलेक्शन कमीशन का दूसरा ऑर्डर है, दैट वाज आल्सो नॉट चैलेंज। क्यों आप इसको
सर मुझे बस करने
क्यों
देना,
कर रहे हैं?
मामलात तो क्रिस्टलाइज हो गए थे 11th February तक। द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल डेडलाइन वाज द 11th of February। 11th of February को उन्होंने देखा, उन्होंने कहा कि आपको हम नहीं मानते, SIC को हम पार्लियामेंट्री पार्टी नहीं मानते। Then the order was passed in which the election commission denied us reserved seats in the provincial assemblies as well as the national assembly. That order then was challenged in the Peshawar High Court and then ultimately it came to the Supreme Court. So this is the sequence of events.
अच्छा, एक फैक्ट और बता दें कि जो पेशावर हाईकोर्ट आप गए, आप नहीं, मतलब SIC गई जी, तो आपको बताना था, फैसल साहब ने, वो चले गए। क्या उसमें इस रूल को चैलेंज किया, उस पिटीशन में?
तो वो मैं देख लेता हूं,
रूल 94 चैलेंज किया था या नहीं?
वो देख लेते हैं सर।
नहीं किया चैलेंज 104।
ठीक हो गया सर, अब आपने ये फैसला करना है।
हमारे सामने उन्होंने कहा था कि वी डोंट प्रेस।
Sir, a citizen and a political party has the right to act in accordance with whatever the prescribed rules and the law at a given moment in time are. उनको और बाद में अगर ये फैसला होता है जैसा कि इस कोर्ट ने किया कि these were ultra vires provisions, इनकी वजह से ये सारी confusion पैदा हुई है, I can't be non-suited or the democratic will of the people of Pakistan cannot be denied simply because मैंने chamber appeal नहीं फाइल की या मैंने petition को बाद मैं refile नहीं किया to challenge. These are all things which are in the realm of what could have happened. The question,
अभी अपनी एप्लीकेशन पढ़ लें जो आप ओरिजिनल पार्टी बनना चाहते हैं।
जी मैं उस पे आता हूं, मुझे एक लम्हा और दीजिए। I'll come to all of that, sir. Sir, I now want to frame this judgment. What has this judgment, including my Lord Justice Mandor Khail's judgment, done? There is a long and a sad history in our country of constitutional deviations. ये होती रहती हैं हमारे यहाँ. When these deviations happen, your lordships are called upon to examine
correct the deviation.
to correct the deviation. So your lordships, so I call this the curative jurisprudence of the Supreme Court of Pakistan. Very few other apex courts have this jurisprudence because this kind of deviation does not happen. So हमारे यहाँ ये हर 8-10 साल के बाद, 12 साल के बाद कोई constitutional deviation हो जाती है। उसके बाद मामला अदालत में आता है, अदालत से पूछा जाता है अब क्या करें? How do we overcome this deviation? Now there is never any law which envisages and says कि हाँ ये deviation होगी तो ये करना. The court then has to come up with a solution. This goes all the way back to the Governor General's reference of 1955, जब गुलाम मोहम्मद साहब ने असेंबली डिसॉल्व कर दी, मुनीर साहब ने यूसुफ पटेल के केस में कहा, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा, जजमेंट ऑथर्ड बाय जस्टिस मुनीर, के कोई पावर नहीं थी गवर्नर जनरल के पास असेंबली डिसॉल्व करने की, दिस वाज एन इलीगल एक्ट. और डिसॉल्व करने के बाद गवर्नर जनरल ने सारे उन कवानीन को जो उस असेंबली ने पास किए थे विद रेट्रोस्पेक्टिव इफेक्ट रेटिफाई किया, क्योंकि इन द तमीजुद्दीन केस इट वाज हेल्ड दैट लॉज पास्ड विदाउट द असेंट ऑफ द गवर्नर जनरल वर वॉइड. उससे एक वैक्यूम पैदा हो गया 47 से लेकर 54 तक का. Then the Governor General issues an order saying, इनको मैं अब ratify करता हूं. In Yusuf Patel's case, the Supreme Court says you have no power to ratify with retrospective effect legislation which we have held was incompetent. So एक deviation पैदा हो गई.
अब आपकी सारी बातें ठीक।
सर मुझे अर्ज कर लेते, मुझे अर्ज कर
देखिए
लेते.
यहाँ डिफरेंस ये है कि एक प्रोसीडिंग जो स्टार्ट हुई SIC से
सर, मुझे कर
185(3) देखिए ना उसी स्कोप पे
मैं समझ रहा हूं सर आपकी बात.
185(3)
सर मैं सब पे आऊंगा,
और यू वाज नॉट ए पार्टी,
मैं सब पे आऊंगा, इन सब बातों पे आऊंगा.
187 के स्कोप पे
सर मैं सब बातों पे
वो
आऊंगा.
आपने सर
सर रेस्ट अश्योर्ड,
वी आर हियरिंग ए
सर रेस्ट अश्योर्ड, मैं उसी तरफ आने की.
ऑल दीस
यस सर.
क्वेश्चंस हैव
सर मैं इसीलिए उधर आ रहा हूं, एक लम्हा मुझे दीजिए. आई एम कमिंग डायरेक्टली टू दिस. ये जो मैंने सिनारियो आपके सामने पेश किया है वो यही है कि व्हेन अ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल डेविएशन हैपेंस, then this court has to provide a cure for that deviation. This court has done that again and again. So I go back to the reference of 1955. उसके बाद बहुत सी चीजें skip करके I come to the year 1988 when the assembly was dissolved on the 29th of May 1988. Elections had to be held in 90 days. They were not held. There was the death of President Ziaul Haq and the election period was delayed. And the question arose then under Article 86 of the Constitution, how is the expenditure of the federation to be carried out, given that no budget has been passed, the financial year had ended, and the law said that where an assembly stands dissolved, expenditures can be made without a budget only for a period of 4 months. And that 4-month period was about to expire. So the reliance was not made on Article 254. Actually, that was a misreading of the opinion of the Supreme Court in the presidential reference number 1 of 1988. I'll come to that. This court found an ingenious, novel method and laid down timelines from itself. So timelines sometimes have to be set down when the timelines prescribed by the Constitution can no longer be met. When something has happened which has caused a deviation away from the normal scheme of things, and a situation has arisen where in order to bring things back to the constitutional domain, you have to mandate certain actions which otherwise are not contemplated by the Constitution or the law, because deviations are not contemplated. So in that judgment also, when I come to that, your lordships will see that the court intervened and said, now we will bring the system back. They didn't simply condone the delay. They did something far more ingenious than that. 254 was never relied upon. In fact, I was there in that case. My father was arguing. This is 1988. ये कल की बात लगती है. We were in the courtroom. ये इमारत नहीं थी. We were in Rawalpindi. वहाँ rest house था कोहिनूर मिल का जहाँ hearings होती थी. On the first day, somebody, a very senior counsel, said, "Sir, Article 254 इस्तेमाल करें, condone कर दें delay." And the full Supreme Court said, "No, we want a better answer than that. हम सिर्फ 254 पे नहीं rely करेंगे. We want a jurisprudential answer." I was there, sir. And we came back and we sat down all night and we came up with a solution which is recorded in that reference of 1988. उसकी opinion है आप देखेंगे, PLD 89, Supreme Court, page 75. I'll come to that in a moment. So this court has always done that. It has tried to cure deviations. Then I come,
proceeding
there
where
must
the
be some
court
li-
has jurisdiction.
There must be some limit.
बीच में है, मैं आपको बताता हूँ वो limit क्या है. I'll come to that, sir.
Definitely.
Rest assured.
Proceeding under which provision of
Sir, I'll
the
come to that.
Constitution the court is having that matter before.
सर मैं अभी आपके सामने आता हूँ. देखिए जब deviation होती है तो there is no law which takes care of that deviation. Deviation हो गई. किसी law ने तो envisage.
Deviation देखिए ना, ये तो अभी आप कह रहे
सर
हैं.
आप मुझे अर्ज करने दें.
प्रोसीडिंग्स के लिए सारा
सर मैं सब आपके सामने पेश करूंगा. कोर्ट ने सब चीजें कंसिडर की हैं. No court has acted without consideration of Article 175(2). 175(2) has been there since 1976. So सब इन judgments ने consider किया है effect of 175(2) on the power under Article 187. So kindly allow me to submit. Then I come to, I don't want to place too many precedents before the court. I think 2 or 3 will establish the point. Let's come to the 3rd November 2007 deviation. That was a deviation on the 3rd of November 2007. A wholesale assault was launched on the judiciary of Pakistan. The Chief Justice and about 60 other judges were quote-unquote deposed. Under what power? Article 209 was not followed. A presidential order was issued that these judges hereby stand deposed. A deviation was created. Somebody was declared Chief Justice. Then a PCO was issued saying that these people will now become judges. Under this PCO, a whole body of judges was then inducted into the system, and the system started functioning. Then in the Sindh High Court Bar judgment of 2009, this court held this is all a constitutional deviation.
वही आया ना उस
मैं अर्ज
deviation
करता
को
हूं, sir,
पहले.
please.
देखिए ना,
Sir, मैं आऊंगा, sir, please. I understand my lord's query कि कौन आया, कौन नहीं आया. Kindly stay with me.
देखिए ना वो
Sir, मैं आ रहा हूं, sir, मुझे जरा-
रेलेवेंट नहीं होंगी. आप जितने भी ये
नहीं, sir, ये सब-
precedents देंगे ये रेलेवेंट नहीं होंगे.
होंगे, sir, आप देखेंगे ये होंगे. आप stay with me.
185(3)
Sir, आप stay with me, sir, stay with me. 185(3) में
187
जी बिल्कुल 185
provisions.
सर 185(3) में आप देखेंगे your lordships have held 184(3) is included. Your lordship आप आने देना, मुझे लाने दे judgments. सर judgments पेश करने दें मुझे. आपकी judgments हैं, full court की judgments हैं. Let me come to that.
उसके लिए कम से कम पहले नोटिस और
सर मुझे आने देना, सर आने दें. सर खुर्शीद भिंडर का केस है, ऐसी सब चीजें, नोटिस, किसको पार्टी होना चाहिए, आर्टिकल 225 का स्कोप क्या है, 209 का स्कोप क्या है, क्या ये प्रोसीडिंग्स हैं इन द नेचर ऑफ को वारंट, ये सब सवाल जवाब हैं इनके मौजूद. लेट मी कम टू ईच वन ऑफ देम. मैंने सब ये चीजें नोट की हुई हैं. हैज आर्टिकल 225 बीन वायलेटेड? शुड अ को वारंटो प्रोसीडिंग बीन इनिशिएटेड? हु शुड हैव बीन अ पिटिशनर? व्हाट शुड हैव बीन द प्रेयर? I will deal with each one of these issues.
चैलेंज ही नहीं हुई हमारे पास यहाँ. इन
पर आप सुन लीजिए मुझे, what is the prayer that needs to be made before the court? ये सब चीजें मैं आपके सामने पेश करूंगा, सर. This is a wealth of
सर,
jurisprudence.
मैं थोड़ा सा आसान कर लूं आपके लिए. The petition was filed under Article 199 before the High Court. Whether High Court exercised their jurisdiction or not. हमारे सामने 185 में हमने ये भी तो देखना था.
जी, देखिए, 180 मैं सर
Whether the High Court exercised its
it did
jurisdiction.
not fully exercise its jurisdiction that it should have.
Don't go
I
to
ha-
184.
So it should have exercised a greater jurisdiction than it did. I have before me a landmark judgment authored by my Lord Justice Kakar in the Balochistan High Court on the scope of Article 199, in particular 1C. 1C is a provision that is so often ignored. There are only two major judgments on 199 1C, one by my Lord Justice Kakar and the other by Sarmad Usmani Saab and Sabiuddin Saab in HRCP versus Government of Pakistan, which is 2009 Supreme Court. Now, these two judgments have held that under Article 199 1C, the jurisdiction of the High Court is vast. I'll come to how vast. And then this court has held that when an appeal comes from the constitutional jurisdiction of a High Court under 199 to the Supreme Court under 185.3, the Supreme Court exercises not only the entire expanse of the Article 199 jurisdiction, but on top of that, the Supreme Court also exercises 184.3 and 187. मैं case law आपके सामने रखूंगा. Therefore, when a matter comes in 185.3 to the Supreme Court is not hampered by any technical restraint, any procedural restraint. The Supreme Court can rely on 184.3 and the Supreme Court can rely on 187. What is the scope of 187? उसमें भी मैं आऊंगा एक लम्हे में. So kindly allow me to place this entire body of law, which is there in this judgment. It is there. Kindly see the footnotes. So this judgment of the majority and the judgment authored by Justices Isa and Mandokhail, they have relied on this entire body of case law to say that there was a constitutional deviation in the conduct of these elections and in the declaration of the affiliations of the returned candidates, which has to be corrected. So there are two levels of correction that have come about. One is the level of correction adopted by my Lord Justice Mandokhail and Justice Faiz Isa, as he then was, and the other is the slightly more expansive level of correction adopted by the 8-member majority. But both in theory, in principle, have done the same thing. They've both recognized the deviation and they've tried to cure the effects of that deviation. So that is why I go back to this jurisprudence, which I call the curative jurisprudence of the Supreme Court of Pakistan. This jurisprudence has been invoked and applied by this court on numerous occasions, but I will be relying primarily on the Sindh High Court bar judgment of 2009, which is PLD 2009, Supreme Court 789. Then its further elaboration in Khurshid Bhinder's case, which is PLD 2010, Supreme Court 483. I will also be relying, these are pillars of our jurisprudence. There are numerous other judgments which have drawn inspiration from these seminal landmark judgments. So I will stay in the first instance with the seminal pillars of our jurisprudence. There is the case of Pir Sabir Shah, PLD 95, Supreme Court 66. These three cases I will submit cover an entire expanse of jurisprudence which is relevant to this case and which the majority as well as the two-member judgment or the two-judge judgment of Justices Mandokhail and Faiz Isa has adopted. There is not one word which goes beyond the expanse, the scope of what has been laid down in these judgments, and I will show that. No deviation, in fact, in the timelines laid down by the Constitution has been ordered. So reference to Article 254, I say with great respect, is irrelevant. Which constitutional timeline has been altered by the 8-member judgment? None. The 8-member judgment has not said, you shall now join some party. That limit is 3 days after the election. They've said, no, you will be recognized as always having been PTI, and then the Election Commission will grant reserved seats based on that recognition. So this
all were declared members of PTI, or some were declared as
39 straight away, and for the remaining 41, which your lordship has not recognized, but the 8-member has, all they've done is
41 option was given to them.
41 ko ye kaha gaya, these are 41 who had joined the SIC on the instructions of the chairman of the party. That instruction was issued, they had complied with that instruction, they had joined SIC, their names were contained in the lists of candidates issued by PTI much before the election on the 20th of January. So these were people, they are people like Ali Muhammad Khan sitting here, people like Shahryar Afridi, some of our most prominent members, known to everybody, and I'll come to that also, what judicial notice can be taken of well-known facts. So Ali Muhammad Khan is one of the 41. Shahryar Afridi is one of the
We know. Hamid Raza was also chairman of